a couple of big plays from CJ got it going. The run that led to the field goal, and then when all hell was looking down, where I feel like Tyler was headed to multiple whiskeys and diets.
No lies detected.
Ball through the hands, bounces up to him, slows Joey Bosa down just a tick, runs to the outside, and goes across his body to Xavier Hutchinson, who was standing all by himself. That jump-started the thing. All right, I see some people coming in with their grades. I see some on text line and on YouTube and Twitch. As I said, what was C.J. Stroud's grade? And again, if you missed it, 22 of 33, 282, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 6 rushes, 42 yards. What was C.J.'s grade? I see some people texting in. C.J.'s grade, a B+. Stroud gets a B+ for me. Started slowly, but not only is strong, he might have unlocked a new level going forward with his willingness to run. B+ if he can keep those feet moving when he sees a lane to run, that could be big for him. Those of you on YouTube and Twitch, I see a B. I see a C+ from Guy Gene. He did just enough. For you, Clint, what was his grade in this game?
I'm gonna go with just a solid B, Ron, because if we're honest, a lot of the mistakes, that were made, the interception and the snap issue that turned into a 40-yard gain. That was a good snap that went right through his hands. Took his eye off the ball to look at the defense. Happens in football, but that could have been a major disaster. It turned out being a big-time plus. So through that lens, I look at those, and the interception is just inexcusable. And there was one other one that was damn near an interception. So I'm not real sure what was going on there. But he somehow, in typical CJ fashion, he'll come out and then he'll have a great 2 or 3 throws. It's really impressive. So he was able to right the ship to a certain degree, to where I can get him in that. All right, now we can climb out of the basement of that interception and some of the poor decisions, and I can get you to a C. And then I watched C.J. Stroud go out there and again miss the snap on him, not Jarrett Patterson. Miss the snap, pick it up, go make a throw across his body, right? Okay, now we're creeping up back on that B. And then, Ron, the handful of scrambles, 3 or 4 scrambles, to me, took him to a B, a solid B for me, but really, gave me a lot of hope for next week. That's a C.J. Stroud that I feel like is confidently making decisions, which is, I don't know that it's real natural for him to consciously make the decision of I got to go run and get this first down. But he's breaking the pocket, whether by design or not. He's breaking the pocket, and he's not floating around back there trying to find an open receiver. He is making you can literally see it in his action. He's making the decision. He's getting downhill. He is determined for his legs to impact that game in a big way. And to me, that's a sign of C.J. Stroud trusting his instincts, going out there and playing with his instincts. And I'll argue that that's the one thing that we haven't seen. He's a natural passer of the football. He's going to have, whether he's playing great football and winning football in the position greater, he's going through a game, he's going to be like, damn, that was a good throw. Wow, that was out on time. Damn, he hit that guy right in stride. He is a natural elite passer of the football. Where you can tell when CJ flips a switch, if you will, is most of the time with his legs. And it was obvious at one point in that game, second quarter, that, damn it, he wasn't going to sit around and wait for something. He was going to get downhill with his legs and change the game and get first downs, keep drives alive, and he did that. And that, to me, that's the biggest takeaway, CJ takeaway in this game, was how committed he was to, in that moment of using his legs and going and getting it done. That gives me hope for next week.
You think this is something that, maybe the Chiefs are talking about now, or in any way adjusting?
To his legs? No.
50 yards rushing in there.
No, we're not doing. We're not.
I'm not saying Lamar, but I'm just saying, is there any point of like, hey, let's talk about this? He did leak out for big runs.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't think not any more than you typically would. Like we're not doing any. Texans aren't doing any quarterback plus one run game or read game or anything. I've heard some of those conversations being tossed around. Like that's not going to happen. He doesn't have that in him. That would be plumb ass silly if we're being honest. But just it's more about the conviction. You know what I mean? It's more about the make a damn decision confidently and live with the results. It seems like for a good part of this season, C.J. Stroud has been almost timidly tiptoeing and not wanting to make a mistake, whether it's in the pass game or the run game. Like it's been kind of timid. Boy, it wasn't a great performance because he missed some stuff and it wasn't consistent. They started out sloppy as hell through the interception. But the thing about it is when your quarterback can go out and impact the game when he's not seeing everything clearly, when everything's not in rhythm, it's an absolute game changer. And it was. I think that's the biggest, most important takeaway from this football game was in terms of like how this team could potentially beat the Chiefs, how this team could go put their best foot forward against the Chiefs. It's going to take that kind of conviction and that kind of commitment and that kind of confidence out of C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, I'm a C. His numbers to me look a lot better than actually watching the game and what happened. He had listen, to the point you made, man, he dropped the ball, but then turned that into the play that kind of changed things for the team. But Clint, he tried to throw multiple other interceptions. Like, just some of the decision making, right? Like the interception that he did throw was so poor. And if you look at the throw before it, he just throws a deep route to Nico that is just never there. Back-to-back throws the pick. But then he does have that point and a half where he kind of brings it back up, used his legs. That really did help, as you just spoke up, and many people have spoken up. But again, in the second half, he tried to have another game where, hey, I sent you all the video. That's the first time it felt like, to me, it looked like he was. It didn't look like I said to Tyler when I came in, Bobby didn't look like he had a, hey, man, you got this, CJ conversation. It looked like a quick, hey, man, what the hell's going on? Yep. Pick it up. Like, which, hell, maybe Bobby needed to do a little bit ago, right? But the 1-2, like the decision on 1st and 15, up 10-6 with all the momentum, their offense not being able to do nothing in the game. Coming off the last possession, you turn it over with Mixon in field goal range. The thought, even in the second half, 10-6 to go, 1st and 15, Clint, jump ball, Derwin James, Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
Like that, just, and so that's continuing in the second half, right? And then after that, I guess, he didn't make any other poor decisions. But there was, like, the second drive of the game, they get the strip from Mechie, and then he rolls out towards the sideline and almost throws another pick.
Yeah.
Would have been back-to-back turnovers in there. I just thought his decision-making first half, third quarter at times wasn't there. So to me, he did fight through adversity and made plays when he needed to. But overall, I'd say a C. I think his numbers look a lot better because I think there were realistically 2 other turnovers that really could have been in there.
Yeah, it was ugly early, and so that's why I said he started at a C. I mean, that was the starting point after offense performing. It was sloppy. It was ugly. It was uninspired. It was as if they hadn't played football in 2 weeks.
It looked more early. Yeah. It looked closer to the Baltimore.
Yeah, and look, I just, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. I'll get the all 22 tonight. I don't know that I'm real impressed with the game overall.
We said
I'm telling you, the way I'm grading, I give him a solid B, and the reason for that is like it was a huge turning of the corner for me with C.J. Stroud and how he impacted the game with his legs. And it did change the game in a major, major way. So I got to give credit where credit's due in a sense of like those actions, no matter how sloppy it was before, those actions turned the momentum in this game in a monster way. And he did it with conviction. So I'm really like, that's super valuable to me with C.J. Stroud, and because we haven't seen much of that. And it was important in this game as well as, again, the team moving forward. So I'm leaning heavily into the way in which he used his legs and how convicted he was about it to get to a B. So I'm not real sure that the second half was as impressive as some folks think it was.
Yeah, I mean,
it was good, but I'm not real sure.
Yeah, he after the Derwin James one and Bobby kind of got in his ass, he kind of pulled.
Yeah.
He kind of pulled back a little bit. From the text line, anything less than a B+, you're being a hater. Oh, guess we're haters. In your opinion?
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I think a lot of times, and I don't know who texted that, but I mean, people need to realize that for me, and I think I can speak for you on this, when we're talking C.J. Stroud in a grade or analyzing his play or what your expectations are or aren't for C.J. Stroud, like, I don't know where y'all's are at. Mine is still, hey, this guy's is a top 5 quarterback in the league. Like, I'm not, just because CJ hadn't played well this year, and hell, I saw a list of top 10 quarterbacks yesterday or a couple days ago, and CJ wasn't mentioned. Like, I mean, CJ played, like, now we know what CJ can do. Like, now that I know what CJ can do after the way he played last year, just because a rough season happens or something changes a little bit, I'm not going to drop and start grading this guy on the Carson Wentz scale. I mean, I'm always going to guard
damn, that's a drop.
Well, I'm just telling you, like that's just where I'm at. Like I'm going to grade C.J. Stroud on the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Like if you want an A out of me, you want an A+ out of me, you got to go out there and be lights out for 4 quarters, or you got to go out there and win a shootout like you did against Baker Mayfield, throw for 400 yards. Like, you've got to do something either for 4 quarters consistently that made your team unbeatable, or you got to go out there and have monster moments within the game versus a great opponent, and you be the reason they won if you're going to get an A+. Right? I mean, even an A. Like, so the bar for C.J. Stroud for me
it's a little. That's slightly higher than I have it. I view him in the same range of Herbert and Tua. And how I grade him or look at what he's doing. And I just thought he just throughout the game, even into the third quarter, just made some really poor decisions, time and score. Just like Justin Herbert.
This may be for a different segment. So you've come to the point where you're Justin Herbert too on CJ. It's no longer CJ and like being a top quarterback in the league.
Well, I had never had him in that off the year. My whole thing this year was he to me was in the 8 to 10 range, and he could make the jump up there. I never, based off one season, to me I think it's crazy talk that people are talking about with Jalen Daniels right now.
Yeah.
Like, all right, he looks really good. Just like CJ did. Like, who was it? God, Bucky Brooks said 5 elite quarterbacks in the league: Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Jaden Daniels. And I'm like,
same stuff that was going on with CJ last year.
And I'm like, yo, like we gotta wait. So I never had him in that range. So I just never graded him like that. But yeah, man, listen. He did the things he needed to do, but he helped kind of potentially put his team in tough spots, and he did put his team in a tough spot. Now, I certainly expect more than to win, but no, man. Listen, he did, and like you said, like that's what I was going to go with. What do you think the biggest thing that changed was? And it seems like maybe the legs and the threat to run.
Yeah, I mean, for me, again, and the way in which he did it is we've seen CJ impact the game with his legs in a scramble mode. But I don't know that I've ever seen CJ this year anyway, where he clearly is in scramble mode and the ball's not up on his pec. He's not looking to throw it. He's not floating. he's tucking the ball and going and getting it. And that's who you got to be. That's who you got to be in these playoff games, or it's Bobby Slowick just can't be right enough without it. So that's how he jumped to a B for me.
Yeah. All right. As we see people rolling in their thoughts about C.J. Stroud, he gets another week. He gets another week, and he gets another shot against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs coming up next week.